So you're looking for more games for your Nintendo 64.
What kind of question is that? Of course I want more games for my N64.
So hopefully you came here from our other video and you saw those other games and you're like, dang, I like that video. I dropped a like and I subscribed. And you came here.
I did.
Yeah, good. And you came here and you were ready to see what our next selection of games are. This is just really a part 2 of the games that really most people want in their collections, and educating you on how expensive these games are going to be, and just
coming.
Yeah, and growing. So jumping right into it, we've got BanjoKazooie. This came out quite a bit after Mario 64, and
2 years.
Yeah, and if you're really into Mario 64 and have never played this, highly recommended. I mean, it plays very similar, just with totally different mechanics. It's got a totally different world. You can transform into different animals, and there's a lot of replayability with it. Unpopular opinion, I would say it has more replayability than Mario 64, but that's just
super
me.
Unpopular.
Oh, well,
I don't think it really is. Like, it's.
Thank you for calling me popular.
Well, I take it back. Okay, so moving on.
Well, we didn't even talk about price. Come on,
No,
you're way
expensive.
ahead of it. Yeah, right. So buying Banjo, you can expect that to cost $50. Definitely a little on the high side, but it's not too bad yet anyway. And for $50, you are really getting a good game.
Yeah, and on to the next one. We're talking about Super Smash Bros., the original Super Smash Bros. Now, this is going up in value simply because of what it is. Like, not because of the Smash Bros. Name, but because it lends itself really well to parties. Like, you're beating up your friends with classic Mario characters.
Yeah, and this game even today
Classic
still
Nintendo
has
characters.
tournaments going on, right? I mean, it's not the scene...
Like the original Smash does?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like Melee or like Ultimate, but it definitely still has some very dedicated followers.
That's cool, and I guess the price is going to reflect that, right? So what's it going to run me?
Yeah, that one is closer to $60, and that should get you into the game. You might be able to save a little bit of money if you don't have any of it and you get the game with console and a bunch of controllers. But yeah, I would expect to spend closer to $60 on that.
Yeah, it's getting up there.
But it's worth it. Totally worth it.
Worth it.
And this is the cheapest game that we brought out today. And well, that's a lie. It's not the cheapest game, but it's... yeah, right.
Lying to the people.
Pokemon Stadium. This was a cool game. I mean, it came out when Pokemon was just at its infancy, and it brought it from the Game Boy to the console to the big screen, and people loved it. They loved it for the mini games. They loved it for the battling, and it was great for parties, or just if you wanted to dive in and be able to beat all your friends.
Well, yeah, you could actually... We'll talk about it in a different video. But it came with an item called the Transfer Pack. You could take your Pokemon from your Game Boy cartridge, play it in 3D.
Yeah,
and
that's
battle
right.
in 3D.
Yeah, and yeah, people loved it, and so did we, and that's why it's on the list. And that game is gonna set you back about $50 too. It's considering a Pokemon title, I'm pretty impressed with the price. But yeah, $50 to get into that.
Yeah, and it's actually not too bad for a Pokemon game, like you pointed out.
Yeah.
So, but that's kind of be the trend for this video. So then we're gonna move right along to Yoshi's Story. Sorry, Yoshi's Story. Now, I remember renting this game a few times growing up and just loving it. I probably rented it more than once.
Yeah.
And I remember hearing later that a lot of people didn't actually care for it. I don't really think that's true. I really enjoyed it. It's a Yoshi adventure, which wasn't really common at the time. It's more like something you'd see on the Super Nintendo. It's a 2D, It's like a side-scrolling platformer, right? But instead of just getting to the end of the level, you're collecting fruit. It's actually really great. Like, it's a really good game. It's not a super long game. It's not a super difficult game, but it's definitely enjoyable. You should definitely have it on your console. I mean, if you're asking me anyway.
Yeah, and I totally agree on that. I mean, who doesn't love Yoshi? I mean, there's even unlockable Yoshis in it. Like, you'll have lots of fun.
And if I was a betting man, I'd say it's the cheapest one on our list.
Yes, it is. It's $40 to $45 should take this home for you. If you can get it for less than that, obviously that's great, but that's what I would expect on that guy too.
Right.
And brings us to getting close to the end of our video, and our last one is Mario Party. We're not specifically saying 3, but we know that everybody growing up had some sort of Mario Party experience, whether you grew up when we did or now. Mario Party is still a big thing. They're still coming out today. And if you want to jump back into those old ones, you're not going to be doing it for cheap. So getting into them, you can expect to spend 60 plus. The third one is the most expensive, and I would expect over 100 on that guy. But for the other two, about 60 plus is what you're going to spend, and you'll be lucky to find it any cheaper. And
they all offer different games.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah. So we've done a lot of games in 2 videos that are pricey.
Yeah.
It's like these are rich guy games.
Yeah.
Like,
people are watching our videos being like, I'm selling my N64 stuff.
They're doing the opposite of what we actually want them to do.
Yeah.
Is I buy them and play them. So I'm guessing we should probably do something a little different next time.
Yeah, so we've put together a good list. It's our longest list yet, and it's a full budget games list. And when we say budget, we don't mean bad games. We just mean you're going to get the most bang for your buck. Maybe it'll be a replacement for a game that you wanted that could be better, or maybe not quite as good, but for the most part, that's what it is.
Yeah. And so if you haven't yet, and you're a rich N64 owner, like and subscribe so you can watch a video about cheap N64 games. Right?
Totally.
It'd be better, right? Like
yeah.
you get more 64 games.
Yeah.
Until next time.